All right, folks, we're live. Obviously, we wanted to do the live watch along, but the big man was in Belfast, but he came back there at half time. So, Cowan, just to give you a little overview of the first half, I know you've seen the goal, poor goal from a Harps perspective, but we're the better side, had some really good chances, didn't take them. But the positive thing in the second half was we maintained that pressure, as you've obviously seen the second half, and the goal was well deserved. And look, it's a very open game. Harps are definitely not settling for the point. They look like they want to go all out and get the 3 points, which is great to see. Doesn't always happen when you're playing away from home. So, what have you made the second half so far, Chief?
Yeah, it seems as you say, Forks. Harps seem to be going for it there. All the pressure on Derry so far, and without any really real quality, and getting them behind them and stuff like that there, or like passing through them. Derry are making mistakes and giving the ball away in poor areas, and Harps just adding that pressure and just capitalising on those there. So, hopefully now we can just, as I say, decision making in the middle of the park hasn't been great for us at times and has led to maybe undue pressure on our back four as well. So it's just a wee bit of quality now from the likes of McNamee or Russell or something like that there. Hopefully a wee bit of magic, and because I think that this Derry side is definitely here for the taking.
100%, I would agree with that. Like Derry, obviously they're not straying away from their principles and how to play the game, and obviously Rory's he's putting a stamp on the team already. But you can see they're playing out all the time from the back, and they're playing themselves into trouble really. And it's I think it looks like it's a windy night there as well, so the conditions aren't great for it as well. So they're kind of playing into Harps' hands, by approaching it that way. But I would agree with you. I think Seymour as well. He's been poor in possession, and I know from the thread that we have on since the first half, there's been a few lads not too happy with him. But I suppose that's the nature of the beast. But I would agree with you that they probably need a wee bit more quality in there in the middle of the park. But hopefully we get it in the last 20.
Yeah, the likes of Seymour there. I've been watching him over the past few weeks, and yes, his athleticism, and he gets about the park, but we need you need quality in there. It's not just enough, because generally I would like to see you have Mark Coyle in there who gets about well, breaks things up. You have one of those players, and then you have Barry then who would generally play that bit further forward. So you need someone who's good on the ball, has a cool head, is able to find that first pass to get you further up the park or to 100%. Get you in a good area. He had a great shot there early on, or was it late in the first half? I saw.
It was a great strike, to be fair to him. But then he had another shot there in the second half, and he put it in the graveyard.
Yeah, so, I'm thinking if he has a bit of that in the locker, then you'll get him that further forward, and then get a few strikes away. But I just think maybe you need someone in there with a bit more quality who can sort of see that pass, and because I say.
100%. Like I say, as a midfielder, what Mark Coyle does brilliantly is breaking it up. But Mark Coyle's brilliant in terms of seeing the picture when everything's in front of him. So if he wins the ball on the front foot, he can see who's left, right, in front. But he's not naturally good at getting the ball off at fullback and dropping in to get off it. Neither is Seymour. So that means you don't have either midfielder comfortable taking it off the back four. So you're going to lose, as you say, that bit of quality. That's why I'd love to see Barry, who's so comfortable in the ball, taking it off the back four and punching those little passes in into the striker's feet. Because there is, Robert Love's agreeing with you here, seeing some of the comments coming in. He said, bang on, Keith. We've won the scrap in midfield, but been a bit short on quality. So I think you can sacrifice maybe Seymour and have a McNamee in beside Coyle. And I think you're agreeing with me, or you're saying the same thing.
I think so, yeah. I think, and obviously Harps at the start of the season had a lot of options in that area. Obviously Conley would have been a man they would have been looking to,
100%.
So they sort of had they've had to go with Seymour maybe a little quicker than they would have liked to, or change shape to accommodate them. For me, I would like to see like Ryan Rainey in there maybe today. Who would be comfortable on the ball, would be have that eye for a pass. But they seem to go on with the tried and trusted again. I think when we were picking those teams at the start of the earlier on today, that was more the team that I would like to have seen rather than the team. It was definitely wasn't the team that I thought was going to go out there, but it was definitely one that I thought that could have done well. Like as I say, they're doing quite well. If we're well in the game, they started the game really well. Comfortable as of yet. So look, we'll see. Long way to go on this yet. So hopefully we can come out.
I think obviously having those two lads in there, and I think Coyle has been absolutely outstanding all season, and Seymour does put in a shift, but it definitely is just you're lacking that creativity there. Oh, you're lacking that bit of quality, I think. And I think, as you say, Rainey, good option, but like if you've got Barry McNamee there, trust him to play a little bit deeper and get on the ball and play for you. Because as I said, Coyle himself, his distribution's not unbelievable, but when he wins it on the front foot, if you get me, he can see all the pictures. They're all in front of him and he's on the front foot. Whereas getting it, you'll not see him drop off in a deep position and receive it, from the fullback square or centre half. So James Doherty says Foley needs to be the main man up top. Tunde isn't doing enough. I think the big man.
Exactly from Doc. To be fair, I haven't seen much of Tunde. I was looking to see him. As I said, I had him on my team tonight because I want to try and see a bit more of him. Foley left of a 3. I do think he has to be your focal point. I think
100%.
He's shown early on in the early games. If there's a chance going to bag in the box, or if there's him there chasing lost causes, and he reads the game really well. He knows what. He seems to have an idea what the defenders are going to do. He seems to put himself in good areas all over the pitch. So maybe you're lacking something by dragging him out to the left.
Yeah. So 15 to go here. Are you seeing the game as well now? Oshin has got us up here in the main screen first, which is great. So what do you reckon then? Is he going to make a change here, Ollie, or what? I know he's obviously brought on Boyle, but will we see anything else from him, or will he stick with what he has now?
Well, I suppose, is he going to go for the game anymore? What else? Does he trust anybody else on the bench to come on?
I don't think he probably does. I think Boyd's out, Shanley's out. Obviously, we talked about Conley and Barry, Connor Barry being still injured and stuff. So
Ryan
he probably
Timlin's there. Create a bit of magic. Great feet.
And probably a good game for him to come on in as well, because it's quite stretched. And he'll probably get opportunities to run at them.
Is Timlin going to be a man now that can't play on Astro? Unfortunately, because of his injuries and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, Kieran Cannon's just has Dunleavy, Boyd, and the Scottish striker injured. I don't think Johnny's injured, but
there's a good choice.
Believe. Good choice. Good chance Johnny probably is injured.
Yeah. Poor Johnny.
Our Johnny, Darren Anderton, Dunleavy, unfortunately, but
I
don't know. I think there was rumours before the match that Shanley and Boyd had picked up knocks in training. But then, sure, somebody said Foden was out injured and he ended up starting. So it's always hard to know. With the team news that comes out of Fun Park at times, you've always got to take it with the proverbial pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But it's been a good game. Like I think, as you said, good straight there. The quality's probably been lacking from both sides, but it's been a kind of typical derby match. There's been no holds barred. Like both teams have been, a couple of meaty challenges in there. They've both worked really, really hard. But I do think Harps have been the better team. I really do. And I know we're probably accused of being biased, but I definitely do think we have.
It's nice to see Parkhouse not getting the start. Has done really well against Harps in the past. And obviously it doesn't suit the way they're going to play. Obviously, want to try and play a bit more, and he seems to be more of an outball at times. But obviously, when they lost that goal, he was straight up. He was straight on. So they find that maybe he's going to play a bit more coming off the bench rather than starting games.
100%. Here, tell me, would you take a point now at this stage? Obviously, the form of late hasn't been great, and I think, as we've said before, any point away from home in this league is a good one. Or on the balance of play, would you be slightly disappointed if we don't go and win it? Because I think we do. Look, go on.
I think at the start of the game, you definitely were taking a point. I think
100%.
With the results of late, but then you played Pats, you played Rovers. You're not expecting to get too much.
No,
you know what I mean. Like that kind of surprise element of the early result seems to have maybe waned slightly, and then with injuries taking their toll, it just seems to be a different. As the energy, even at this stage, we're just coming on now to the first phase of games being almost completed.
Yeah.
So the surprise element seems to be gone. We know how we're setting up. And we haven't been playing that well. We play in stages, but creating a lot of opportunities just really hasn't been there, like clear cut.
Yeah, and a couple of mistakes, obviously, as well. They've been well highlighted. Like Mark Anthony's been a brilliant keeper, but obviously it was a bad one against Sligo, and then the first one, the last night against Shamrock Rovers as well, was costly. So that hasn't helped. On top of, as you said, not playing well. You must have been some striker going back in the day, were you? Tony McNamee's looking for you to be put up front. Need Keith up front, and you must have been a great striker back in your schoolboy days, because this is about the fourth time Tony McNamee's been looking for you to play up top. You must have been wasted at centre half, big man, were you?
Tony sure he doesn't drink, does he?
I don't know.
It's a Monday night. I know it's a bad call. No, definitely not. Well, I did actually press when I started playing up front, but I think.
Did you play up front in hockey as well? Did you?
Better as well. Up the short.
Well, stopper in hockey as well. Fuck's sake. How was he? Sean, was he? Young was he? Sorry, I should say not out. Was he? I'd take a point, but Derry are there for the taking. If we can get O'Sullivan one-on-one more with his pace, but we need more from Tunde.
Yeah. I think Tunde might be
probably a fair assessment, to be honest, isn't it? Because I think I've got that feeling as well. I feel like we could go and win this game, but as you say beforehand, you would take a point. It definitely is. But Derry look dangerous, I suppose, on the counter attack as well. It's not like they still are a threat, because the game has got so stretched. James Doherty's asking, is Tony on the bench? Yeah, Tony is on the bench. Whether Tony gets introduced or not is another question. I don't know. Kieran Cannon, is it just me, or does Siddiqui always kick it out to the opposition again? Do you want to answer that one, Kyle? You're a centre half.
Yeah,
is his distribution poor?
The thing
lads,
that one. I think the thing we tend to forget about Siddiqui, he's still a young lad. He hasn't got a wealth of football behind him. What is he? Is he 2021? He's not a seasoned.
No, he's not a seasoned pro. Yeah,
he's played how many games last year? Maybe 13 games last year, whatever it was, in the shortened season. We're kind of maybe expecting a lot of him. Obviously he has experience and beside him with Folin and Webster tonight. But I thought I saw.
What about the goal? How bad was the goal? The goal was terrible. In fairness, Big Siddiqui sold himself.
Yeah, I thought he's come across there. He's coming across into that position, and there's only one way that he's going to get beat there, and that's if he cuts back inside. So he has to know that's coming, and his just body shape's all wrong. He's coming in far too quickly, can't slow himself down, and Akintunde has just stepped in, and then a poor attempt to tackle, and I think it was from Webster as well. So, disappointing from Harps' point of view.
Was it Webster? Was that Webster that came over as well? Because he didn't cover himself in glory either. Once he skipped past the first chance of Siddiqui, he's got to do a bit better as well. Mark Anthony gets a hand it, but to be fair, I think it's a good strike and it's inside the box.
It's easy for us and it's easy for me now. I've been in that position most times myself. When you're steaming like that there, that you can't get beat back inside. So you have to show him the line.
Show him out, 100%.
He hasn't done that and he's left himself open. But look, it's a great goal as well. Your man's done really well.
You've got to give him. I suppose you've got to give him a bit of credit. He's got a lot of work to do, and he does do well. And saying that Harps lads need to do better, but it's a real bit of quality from him. And he's a good player. He's looked bright. I think he's been. Considering Tunde for us up top and him, I think he's been much brighter.
Sorry, Tunde for Harps there's made way for young Brown to come on.
Young Brown. What did you know? Do you know much about him, Brown? Was he about the academy set up when you were up there, or is he just came in maybe since you left?
He was 17 to 19 when I was there. Now, I trained against him a few times. Now, look good, So if he's developed in the same way or the way that he was going, should be a good acquisition now. So.
Good bit of pace, Cowan,
a wee bit of everything. He's good athleticism, decent pace, can finish when he gets a chance.
Great opportunity for him. It's great. It's great to see him being brought on in a big game like this as well. When the game's very much still in the melting pot as well. So
yeah, and these are the games where you can sort of make it for yourself very easy and
100%.
Doing well in here, maybe nicking a goal or setting somebody up can lift the confidence massively, and it's good to see.
Absolutely,
we're constantly knocking on about young lads getting a chance, and I suppose you saw young Stephen Doherty brought in last week.
Yeah,
and then,
did well,
and then no sign of it again tonight. There's has he been made a scapegoat for the last night? I bet you don't like to see that there. You like to see somebody get a run the team.
But maybe, I suppose I don't know if that's the case. It might have been a case of, look, you done well for that game, but we'll take you back out now again. But whether he has been made a scapegoat for it, I don't know. But I suppose, as you say too, when you do get an opportunity like that and you do well, you probably do deserve to stay in the team.
Absolutely, like, you know, maybe somebody will tell us different if he's picked up.
Chance! Oh, I
At
don't
the
know if
post.
I'm ahead of you or not. I hit the post, lad. It's frozen me now. That was a massive chance. He's got to score. I know we don't have the benefit of replays here, but Jesus, he's got to score that. Who was it? Was it Kieran Hart? Oh no, it was your man that came on.
That's not Malone.
Massive chance. Is it Malone, is it? I think it is Malone. Oh, huge chance, Chief. I don't know if I'm a wee bit ahead of you or not, but
no, well, I'm watching the one on screen. I'm watching the one.
I'm watching the one on the screen as well. So I'm watching the one that Bosch put up there.
Maybe he'll take us back a bit. Wait.
DJ Bosch. Aye, he's taking us back here, is he?
Might probably have it now. Oh, it's a great wee ball around the corner. Siddiqui's done well. Siddiqui's put him under pressure. He's got back in, so he has. I'm just seeing it here now on my screen. Siddiqui's got back in, made him hit it early, and he's done really well. Like, the man's got a shot away, but
so we're criticising Big Siddiqui there, and then he's made up for he's atoned for his earlier mistake.
Yeah, but I suppose that's a reactive kind of defensive one there, where he's just had to get his leg out there. It's a wee ball around the corner. Not sure if it's Patchen puts him in around the corner, and he's
just let that game go now. I know you're trying to get the replay back first there, but Big Cown seen it in his other screen, so just play her live from where we're at.
Yeah, let me see.
If you can. Where are we at? 86.06. Yeah, we're here now.
Guy Ramsey reckons that maybe 2 games in a few days was a bit much for young Doherty. Fair point. He's a young lad too, and I'm sure he'd be dying to play. And there's I think well, maybe he hasn't been getting much game time and maybe felt a bit tired. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Ollie's a horses for courses type manager. Doesn't really have a top 11. Not sure if I agree with that too much. Kieran Cannon's come about that one. Like, Ollie has.
No, I think Ollie's. If he's got has his fit 11, they play every week, and it doesn't really change much, to be honest. So I would agree with you there.
I don't think that he sees that he would see a certain team and think, oh, we can exploit this team this way, and he's going to change 2 or 3 players. I don't think it usually goes that way. I think it's like the system, and it's whatever player fits into the system.
100%
would generally start for him.
100% set piece here for Derry now, Could.
Like out there, corner. Yeah, Harps a lot of corners well in that first half.
Here, I'll tell you what, Tony McNamee's on here, and he knows I'm a massive fan of Barry, but Barry's set pieces in the first half were terrible, like, to be fair, but then he came up trumps for the one for the goal. It was a great delivery, and failed to Carlos Sullivan.
Had a look there at it. Yeah, I suppose
young boys has done quite well again tonight, Keith.
Hey, hasn't put a foot.
Oh, big chance. Took a terrible toucher, man. That's frozen me. Brilliant.
Mark Coyle's kind of on the attack now. He's put that young Brown on the corner. Cut back inside, and he's
see there. To be fair, without being harsh, young Brown there. When you're with 3 minutes to go and you get a chance in the channel, he's got to hold the ball there, doesn't he? He's got to get your body in front of the ball and wait for a bit of support. Like, there's nothing worse than that. But he's a willing runner, like.
Mm-hmm.
Goal! What a strike!
Foley. Yes, get in. Get in.
Who's unbelievable? Aye, Foley, great goal. Great ball.
There's that. I think just what we talked about, Chief. He's taken 2 in the off, and he's put Foley.
I think it was James Doherty that was looking for it, wasn't it? James Doherty says get Foley down through the middle, which is true. To be fair, like he's had an unbelievable start to season. You got to play the man through the middle, like.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Fucking great job.
I think it's a great ball. Foley's after getting booked from the referee.
I think he went out in the dog track. He went up down the Q1, but he didn't go for the celebration. He just went for the fingers with the ears. There must be a few lads up on the wall giving him stick up in Derry there.
I don't know who slapped the pass. I think it might have been Barry McNamee. It was a great ball.
Barry, and I think it might have been somebody else then played it around the corner.
Oh, maybe it was a great play, great move, brilliant goal. Massive result. This, lads.
You need to hang on to this now. I'm going to see it here back now in a minute. Yeah, it's who's played that wide? Seymour's played it wide. There's Barry. Great wee touch. Great wee ball. Yeah, there's Barry. Great wee touch. And
is it Barry that plays the wee disguise pass that we split? It's a great ball.
Lovely weighted pass right into his path, and he just smashed it in.
Get in there, you beauty, Axel.
That's what we need. Like, having played against Barry a lot of times for Harps against Derry, and those times when he just comes in, and he's running at you, and just as you're about to set yourself, he would release that pass, and it would just be out of your grasp. And he's so good at that, but that's what you want him.
He's way 100 high. Exactly. No, I'm looking for him to be playing a wee bit deeper, but the only reason I want him to play a bit deeper is just so Harps get a bit more control on the actual football and on the game, because he's a quality player, and I think if you want somebody to play that bit higher, then I think Tony's a good option, and there's other good options. Carlos Sullivan can do that. So but as you say, I suppose that's where you want Barry to in those sort of positions, because he's got the ability to play those passes which he did. But lot of character from Harps. If we do hold on, this is a absolutely fantastic result. You're thinking back-to-back defeats there. Obviously Drew had Longford away. We got beat against Sligo the week before. Hadn't scored a goal and 4 matches. So to be 1-0 down at half time against a resurgent Derry under new management, it's a brilliant one. It's an absolute brilliant one if they hold on, which I think they probably will.
Did we see how many minutes were added? You didn't see Chief?
I didn't see a Chief. I'm gonna guess it's probably 3-4 minutes, I'd imagine. He's had a good game. Russell's a good player, hey?
Yeah, very good.
He's a quality player. He gives Harps great balance out there as well, and he's comfortable coming in off the line as well and going on the outside as well. Quality player.
Yeah. So that's be great. If somebody just hold that ball in the corner now, that young Brian.
Joe O'Donnell went for a piss and missed the goal. Good man, Joe.
When you have to go, Joe. When you have to go.
You have to go.
Yeah, I suppose, that's the one drawback. You need to be taking, hopefully, maybe he hasn't on the laptop, let's watch LLA, and okay, is it on TV or what? You get on the laptop, Joe, you can take it with you. Won't miss him. But
Tony's not happy here because I was criticising Barry's set pieces.
What's Tony said?
He just said, Mark, what were you saying?
All right, okay.
I praised him. I was praising him. He's a brilliant player. Just saying his set pieces for his quality were poor in the first half, which they were.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, look, when you have a lot of players, that was a great ball from Barry, but it wasn't a set piece that the goal came from. So,
the set piece was the first one.
You're always going to get credit. Here we go.
Hey, and a man that can dish it out himself,
Hey, Tony, the one-armed waiter, he can give it, but he can't take it.
Dahi Ramsey says there's been 6 minutes added on.
6 minutes.
Fucking Rory Higgins must have got the board. Rory must have got the board. Stick on 6. See this out now. That seems to be a great one. Great one. Free kick Harps. We look fairly comfortable as well. Derry look like they're kind of just...
Yeah.
They're sort of straying away now from playing out in the back, and they're going direct. It doesn't really suit them. Doesn't really suit them to go.
Somebody take on that. I think it just. Who's that one? That Foley, big Foley's down. Great result. If you can, Bosch needs to update the scores there. Bosch, you still Harps 1, Derry 1.
Aye, come on, DJ Bosch, cover it up, man. Sort yourself out. He's too busy fucking plugging one of his songs.
Hey. He's always keeping us right, Chief. We have to keep him right the odd time.
He is, to be fair. He is.
Sorry, Tony gave us a bit of... Tony, I agree with you. Are you blind? Sorry, Tony, I didn't see you.
I heard Tony Marmite McNamee.
Settle.
6 minutes, Keith. Time to get the bits on.
Update the scoreboard, you clown. You clowns. That's
your don't respond. That's my moron. John Francis Dugan. That's his name. Ross's futsal fraud. Terrible footballer, so he was as well. Goalkeeper, garbage.
If we can hang on here now for this year, like this is a result, is a massive result because I think things.
Hey, are we back in the title race? Are we back in the title race? We won this.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so, Steve.
Let's just get back on the hype train again, man. Come on, we're gonna win. We're back in the hunt.
Yeah, like I just think I suppose that with the type of injuries that Harps have been getting now, over the last couple of weeks, and there probably seems to be another one tonight there. Maybe Webster coming off as I think it was tactically probably picked up a knock. There's just the quick turnaround with the 2 games and a couple of days isn't easy. Like, and you're always going to get that, and just with the way that the Harps tend to play at times, the back four is a group that tends to get worked a little harder than the others. So.
I mean, if you're looking at it objectively as well, like, sometimes you get bogged down in recent performances, recent results. What's this? Our 8th game of the season?
Yeah.
And we've beaten Dundalk, we've beaten Bows. We're hopefully going to beat Derry City. And, we've beaten Waterford as well. Like, serious results, like.
Yeah.
Serious results.
They're not the ones that you're banking on at the start of the season, for sure.
Not I hope. You got a point away from Longford. You lost to Shamrock Rovers at home, St. Pat's at home.
Yeah.
And Sligo away. All games that are difficult fixtures. And again, as we touched on, a couple of individual mistakes in the Shamrock Rovers and the Sligo Rovers matches, we could end up getting a result. So,
I mean, maybe we're being a bit too harsh.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh,
in fairness, Derry have missed 2 sitters. That's twice they've had the post.
We're defend now in the last minute. Surely not.
Jesus Christ, that's a wide miss again, lad. That's a wide miss again.
Well, then, man's gone down there.
That's it. Good stuff, lads.
Now, tell me now, is it the first time Harps have beat Derry in the Brandywell in the league in how long? Somebody come in with a stat there.
Quickly. Come on with the stats. I think that when they played at McGinn Park, you done them 2-0, but EJ scored, didn't they? Good man, Bosch. Bosch came on there for a second. Good man, Bosch.
Someone's stuck in the throat there. Great result. Absolutely brilliant result.
Look, as I say, it is a super. It's absolutely unbelievable result. Like, and again, looking in the context of the match, you're 1-0 down at half time. You're thinking things aren't going for us. We missed a couple of great chances.
Yeah.
They've punished us. And you're thinking, here we go again. But unbelievable character from the lads and fully deserved, full value for it. Yourself, Karen, there's plenty of games you'll play in where you mightn't play great and you might nick a result and get out of there and say, how do we get that? Harps, fully deserved. Sean McNulty says the League Cup in 98, never in the league till now. That's the first time Harps have beaten Derry in the league at the Brandywell. So that shows you the magnitude of the result as well.
Yeah, look, I think, hanging on there, well, you say hanging on at the end, because I wouldn't say that Derry were peppering the goal, but they've got with a great
2 massive chances, though, I suppose. They did have 2 huge chances.
A free header at the back post, and he hits the post with it, at the very end, and then, the resulting corner comes to nothing. Like, so, now look, I say...
And who was the other lad that hit the post, Karen? Who was that again? Was that your man Malone? That was a great chance as well, hey?
Yeah, I think it was Malone. So, like, great result, 3 points. Obviously what you wanted to turn things around, and it'll be is it Bows now coming next Friday night?
It's just this
Bows and Saturday away again, so you're sort of you're back round.
Another tough game, but probably a good time to get Bows as well. They haven't been going too well. No. They haven't been going too great, and obviously we went down there and beat them 2-0 last season. We've beaten them at Finn Park, so that fixture will hold no fears for this current crop of Harps players. But James Melly, some bad misses from Derry. James, he's an old mucker, so he'll be licking his wounds. He'll be disgusted. Yeah. But in fairness, now they did have 2 great chances, and Malone and the lad at the back post, they probably should score. But look, a wee bit of the rub of the green as well, probably to win these type of fixtures.
No, definitely. I think the lads will be very happy with the night's work. Like, it's never easy that that turnaround too. Like, after a couple of days, maybe after a tough game, against Rovers, and then with the way that they lost the game, well in the game, playing good stuff, and then, kind of sucker punch with two poor goals to concede, and the types of goals, that the way that they did concede them last time, not set pieces, the second one, but it's, a header as well. So like, the manner in which Harps are conceding goals, set pieces them, something that through the years all these teams have been pretty good at, and that's something that he'll want to rectify very quickly. Like, and it's is it a concentration thing? Is it something that they need to be working more on? I'm sure.
Would you have taken that personally? As a centre defender conceding from set pieces, you're looking at yourself and your partner and you're saying, "Why are we conceding goals from set pieces?" Like, it is one of those where, the back four will be looking at themselves saying, like, what's going on here, lads? We need to be better. Like, because I'm sure you would have been analysing. You have to be, like, don't you?
You have to take it personally, and you can be rested. And I know from experience as well. Ollie won't let you forget it. He'll have it written down in his wee diary from the last time that a goal was conceded from a set piece, and the last time, I've heard him many times. He'd recite them out. I remember, it's 365 days ago this day that we'd asked him to the corner, and it was whatever striker it was, and don't you give him an inch tonight. And every corner you hear Ollie screaming, be strong, be organised, that type of way. So when he's telling the lads on that couple of seconds prior to the corner being taken to get your man, get tight, do your job, and then from the resulting free kick or corner, a goal is conceded, he'll be livid. He'll be livid. That's why he's picking up these red cards and yellow cards.
Because he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He must enjoy those disciplinary meetings and stuff, and just getting a wee trip up to Dublin for an afternoon on a Tuesday. So he absolutely loves it. But regarding about set pieces as well, I think that the manner of the goals conceded have been poor, because I think sometimes you can say a great delivery in, and it's hard if somebody gets a run on you and really attack it. But they've been very avoidable goals. So as you say, it'll drive him nuts. But I mean, look, there's no point talking negative about conceding goals from set pieces. Tonight it's all about a first ever win for Harps and Brandywell, and what an absolute result. What do you make of Derry? Obviously, Higgins came in, 2 great wins. I said earlier on the page, I thought that I still don't think Derry, were a great side. I felt that, I don't think Harps should go in there with any great fear, because we were talking about team selection and how they should approach the game. And obviously now, they've been brought back down to earth with a bump. That defeat will hurt them as well. It'll hurt Rory Higgins. He knows he's a Derry man in and out, so he knows how hurt the fans will be from that. So how do you think? What's your assessment of Higgins getting the job first and foremost? And would you still have concerns for Derry as to whether or not they'd be in a relegation battle or not?
Well, I think, first of all, I think it's a great appointment. I think, a few names were mentioned. I know Paddy McLaughlin was mentioned as well. I think Higgsy was mentioned too, for the job. Look, I think they've got the right man in there. I think, the experience that he's had, under Stephen Kenny with Dundalk, and, then obviously with the Irish setup, and then, like him being a Derry man, and, having played for the club for many years. This is a great opportunity for him, and it was one that I'm sure he didn't have to think twice about. Like, I thought, but then I suppose those early results, like you did speak about, is that just with new manager coming in, has it given them that wee lift? He's gonna, he's played a couple of his local lads. He's gone with Roland Boyce in there, which was great to see. We talked about. Brennan Barr's got his opportunity in there as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, Mark Walsh as well, another Donegal lad. He played, like, came on against Bowes and done quite well. Didn't so that's good to see as well. So I think, as you say, that normally happens in a club where they haven't won a game in the first 6, change of manager, and Rory comes in. There's a response from the players. Things are going well. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond to this defeat, because, as I said, it definitely will hurt them, Count.
Definitely. But then I suppose I think it was important to maybe for Higgins to get those results early on. You know what I mean? Because it will give them that bit of belief, and they had opportunities tonight to get back in the game. They had opportunities to win the match type thing. Had those 2 efforts to hit the post, gone in. Then you're thinking about a different game there. So, but look, I don't think they'll be too down. The only thing I'm so disappointed for tonight, how unbelievable that have been if the Brandywell had been packed tonight for that.
I know. There's something sort of tragic about it in a way. And look, obviously,
to have that there, because we've had a couple of dark days in there. I've been involved in a few myself, and around the Brandywell. And,
horrible.
we've had a couple of good nights, but
well, yeah.
we had a couple of good nights too. That time we stopped them from winning the league, the first division. That there, it was great.
That was great night.
To shut the muckers up is always a nice thing.
That was a good night. But I remember that you're saying that. I remember that earlier that season we got smashed off them 4-0, and it's not a nice place to be when you're getting beat. So I think that's, as you say, it's a good point actually. It would have been class if the Brandywell was packed and the Harps fans were able to be there and enjoy it. But sure, look, that is what it is. It is what it is. A few more comments coming in. Robert Love believes we got Derry at the perfect time. 2 wins, starting to believe they were better than they are.
Yeah,
that's probably what I think you spoke about it with Anthony Gorman a few weeks ago when Charlie Collins interviewed you, and you both were saying that Derry do lack leaders and sort of experienced senior players. Like, you can see they're good footballers, they're tidy, they're technically good, they're dangerous, they'll cause you problems. Like, they could beat the Shamrock Rovers, but then very easily go like away to Longford and lose the game because they don't have maybe that consistency and those senior players. So, I think I agree with you. I think Rory Higgins is a good appointment, but I would still have my reservations over Derry, and I do think they need to do a bit of work in the transfer window.
Yeah, like I say that behind the scenes, I'm sure Higgins will be, have his whoever he has out scouting or whatever lads that he has working for him or whatever. He really have his eye on a few characters to bring in. Like, they need experience. They do. I think that's especially with these games, these type of games. You need lads in there that have played in these games before. A very young side. He's got quality. You know what I mean? Like, these lads that he brought in, they have. You can see the way that they play.
Yeah.
Like, they were able to go at Harps tonight. Near the end of the game there, and they to create those chances, and full of legs, full of running. Like, I'm a bit stumped with the whole Parkhouse. Well, I'm not sure. I obviously haven't seen much. But he was.
It is a funny one. It is a funny one. Like,
a few years ago, and he doesn't seem to fancy him or what. Like, even when he came on there, he caused problems. He got about. He's lively. He's strong boy. Well, so maybe he's not fit. Look, maybe we don't know. Maybe he was carrying off and he wouldn't have lasted 90 minutes. But
it's probably one of those kind too, isn't he? He's probably just, if he gets a goal, he could all of a sudden be back in the groove. Obviously, when you're a striker and the numbers aren't good and they dry up, people start pointing the finger. It's not too long ago we were doing it to Foley after he had the cheek of not scoring in a couple of games. But again, as James Doherty said earlier too, I think it's important to highlight that Foley has to be played through the middle. Like, we've seen Tunde there tonight, without being overly critical of him, he was just okay. I think Boyd done all right down in Longford, had a couple of good chances, didn't take them. I think with the Shanley played against what game did Shanley play? Well, Shanley got a start up top and on his own as well, and it didn't really work out for him. So I think he's tried a few, and I think Foley needs to be the man in the line, and whether you play someone up with him or not, it's for Ollie to decide. But I'd say you agree with that, would you, Chief?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's kind of that he's trying to accommodate, and he's trying to maybe put square pegs in round holes as such.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can see the option. You want to try and get as many goal scorers, and we've been critical of him for not putting enough goal scorers or enough attacking players in the team at times, and then he's gone and done it tonight. But it's maybe just the order that we weren't really sure of. I think a man that is scoring goals, a man that is had a great start to the season, and you're sort of putting them out of a more attacking position. Like, I don't think Foley, as good as he is, is gonna from a wide area be able to come in and take a pass, something like that. There, like, he seems to be a natural born finisher.
100%.
Anything in the box drops them. He tucked it away. So really to try and obviously
he's one of those players, Count, isn't he, that comes alive, isn't he, and around the box. Like, even when the ball comes to his feet, he just looks instantly sharper than he would when he gets it in a wide area. He doesn't seem to have that same sort of drop of the shoulder or buzz. He's just, as you say, he's a goal scorer and he comes alive in the box. And I think we've got to play him through the middle. But I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of why he's maybe been shifted out to the left. I think it is a case of accommodating maybe different players. And you've got a big squad there. you know, the likes of Shanley, Tunde, and these lads need opportunity. So maybe he's tried to, you know, rotate the squad and all that as well. But I definitely think, considering the first 8 games, Foley's got to be a man up top. I know that's for sure.
Yeah, well, like I would like to see, you know, Timlin come into the team maybe next week. If it was the pitch, or maybe he has picked up a knock. Like, he's been hard to get him fit. I know he was involved a lot in pre-season. From what I heard, he was going to start the first game of the season. But then I think he picked up a knock on the warm up, so that's out. Like, so he came on last week for a couple of minutes near the end. You know, if they're deciding that the astrosurface isn't going to help him too much, then that's why he wasn't involved tonight. But you know, a fit Mark Timlin is a dangerous. You know,
is a fit Mark Timlin getting that team week in, week out for you?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I think, you know,
at the expense of who? O'Sullivan?
You know, well, I suppose it depends where you're going to play him. You know, I think, you know, he can be your top 3. I think he can go. I think you can have Timlin operating from the left. I think, you know, he can cut inside. You know, I think you know, and then you have Foley up front, and then you have O'Sullivan on the right.
Yeah,
you've got pace, you've got creativity, and then you've got, you know, a big man that can finish up front. So, you know, and we talked there about Foley and like his attributes. Like, you see him chasing. He's a willing runner. He like chases back in. You could see it there tonight. He was chasing back in the midfield. You know what I mean? To try and make tackles and try and get on.
He's a grafter. Oh yeah, he's not shy. He's not shy to put on a shift. That's for sure.
Definitely not. So I can see why Ollie wanted to try and keep him in the team, but obviously then, you know, he obviously has to find a place for him if he's going to try and play an extra striker. Did Tunde, did Olavi, did he show enough tonight maybe to warrant a starting place against Wolves come Saturday? I don't think so. So.
I think it's, you know, again, it's one of these. He looked like someone that was over eager to do well, if you know what I mean. Like, you could see there was plenty of application and effort, and he was putting himself about, and he was putting in tackles, but it was just probably that energy needed to be harnessed, and he just wasn't effective. He was sort of giving away fouls. He was getting caught offside, and it just didn't really happen for him. And unfortunately, at this level, you don't get too many opportunities, and he could be waiting a long time again before he gets a chance. Ian Slevin, good man. It was Pats. It was against St. Pat's that Shanley played up top. So you've had Boyd up top against Longford, Shanley up top against St. Pat's, and tonight you've had Tunde up against Derry. And I think, you know, all 3 probably didn't do enough, as you said, Cowan, to stay in the team.
The only thing, I suppose, injuries, you know, the way that they happen now as well. You know, he might get another chance. You know, we'll see how it falls come but I'm not sure. Like, I know Ollie or Higgsy aren't the type of manager that's going to come and say, like, he probably had an idea last night when he did the shape that he was maybe there's an opportunity of him and playing. I'm sure he went with a couple of combinations. So I'm sure he was maybe a bit more involved last night in the shape, so he would have had an idea that tonight.
Of course.
You know, as I say, Higgs, you know, he's not the type of manager to go and pull somebody and say, look, you're in tomorrow night, you're starting, get your head right. You know, he probably found out an hour before like everyone else. So, you know, and I'm sure there wouldn't be the idea of, look, you know, we're going to give you a couple of stars now to see how you do, so don't be feeling too much pressure tonight. You know, that type of approach might have helped maybe as well. Look, you know, if you say, look, we're going to try and get in your team now, you have a couple of weeks to show us what you can do. So, you know, that can relieve the pressure, and then a guy can go out and enjoy it tonight, and it might come more naturally to him. And then instead of thinking every time I get the ball here, I have to show something, you know. So tonight, did he do enough? I suppose to finish up on this year with him? I don't think so. So I think we have to look at something else for next week.
Just watching the replay here of the equalising goal, Gardside had a bit of a nightmare. If you're watching it here, that's poor goalkeeping, is it? Or am I being overly harsh? He's palmed it out. Could he have caught it? Like, I know.
I don't think so. And just because it's a great ball in.
It's a great. All right, Tony. Sorry, it's a great ball, and what a ball! Like, what a fucking ball!
It is a great ball, and to be fair.
No, it is a great ball. But do you not think Garcia could do? I think I'm asking questions of my keeper there. That's poor.
Again, you know, like,
I don't think there's that much pace in the header. Like, and he's put it in a terrible area.
Look, you know.
No, maybe being harsh.
No, a young keeper. You know what I mean.
awful keeper, Ian Slane. Ian Slane's
we have to be realistic here. Like, this is a young guy coming in who's not had a lot of experience playing. He's stopped the shop, but at this level, you can't be putting the ball back in the danger zone again at any level. That has to go wide. It has to go
100%
out the right hand side. He has to get enough on it. It's not a bullet header. It's come at him quick, but he should be able to deal with that.
I remember a certain Keith Cowan playing in goals for Harps one night down in Salt Hill, and you were dealing with all sorts of stuff, Chief. Even you wouldn't have been a rookie error like that. One of the funniest things ever, you setting up a wall. You hadn't a clue what you were doing, hey?
The guys behind the goal, like, have a shot. He's not even a keeper.
Not being a bit of a presence, lad. You filled the goals well. Ian Slevin's asked as well, what do you think of Seymour tonight? What's your opinion on Seymour? Not just on tonight, but maybe over the course. He's played almost. He was introduced as a sub in the first game against Bows, and I think he started every game since. What's your overview of him since you've seen him in your first 8 games, Kyle?
Look, I suppose we're thinking. We have to think about maybe who's he come in to replace. He's got a tough job. I know we're big Harkin fans, and that's essentially the job he's come in to do. I don't think he'll be playing as much as he is if Conley was fit, because I don't think he offers enough in terms of the quality on the ball. Maybe to start off attacks, to in good areas of the pitch to play. He seems to be, as we talked about, a William Lawler. He's athletic. He gets about. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't do anything wrong, but you just want a wee bit more from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
To add a little more to the game, to the team. Like, as I say, you have a guy in there. You have a Mark Coyle in there who breaks up, who rats about and makes it uncomfortable for the team.
Yeah.
But you need quality in there as well. You need somebody. You need Barry higher up. And you need somebody just in the middle with that bit of extra quality. I don't see why Tony's not in there, to be honest. I think Tony has that extra bit of quality. I think sometimes people look at Tony and then the optics, they just see, they see his quality from his long throws and his set piece and stuff like that there. But I think he gets a raw deal a lot of the time from me. Any time Tony's played, he hasn't really put a foot wrong for Harps, and he hasn't let them down. But I just think sometimes, because as well, and I know this from being in and around it, because he's a local lad and because he's eager and stuff like that there, and he wants to be there and he wants to play. I just think sometimes he's the easy option to say tonight.
Easy option to drop off as well, and then maybe the mobility thing would be questioned. He's not maybe as athletic, like if you're looking at his strengths, like Seymour's athletic and stuff, and maybe all he wants that profile of midfielder as opposed to someone like Tony who's going to get on the ball and maybe control and dictate things. I think that's probably fair to say. But I agree with you. Like, for me, I think Mark Coyle's brilliant in there, and I think Mark Coyle's really tidy on it when he does get on it. But he's just one. Like, there's all different types of midfielders. Like, I was a different midfielder to Wuzzy McGowan. Like, Wuzzy wasn't comfortable dropping in, getting the ball off the back four, but Wuzzy was absolutely brilliant at winning the ball back and stuff.
Dave, I'm just going to cut across you. I'm just going to run out of charger here, because go to a few comments. Everyone's going to get a charger.
No worries. But what I was saying there, and I think Wuzzy's on here, like, Wuzzy was a brilliant midfielder. Wuzzy could do things I couldn't do. Like, he had a great ability to hang in the air and win headers and 1 second balls. But Big Wuz would never drop off and get it off Kieran Call or the likes of Cowan or someone that wasn't just his game. But when he won the ball back, he was on the front foot and he could see all the pictures in front of him. So I think you need that balance. I think with Coyle and Seymour, there's too many similarities. Although I do think Coyle is a much better player than Seymour. I think neither of them really, really want to go and get it off the back four, get it off their fullbacks and start attacks and go and play. So that's why I think play Barry a little bit deeper. If you don't want to play Tony, I would play Tony in there. And I think, as Cowan said, if Conley was fit, I think Conley would probably play in there with Coyle, with Barry in front. But that's my 2 cents on Seymour. I don't know where Cowan's gone. Come back in here, Cowan. Come on.
2 seconds.
Get the charger sorted. No, but I think a fair enough assessment in Seymour. You don't want to be battering him like it is. It does take time to adjust. But, I think some people have question marks over why did Sligo let him go. didn't pull up any trees up there. But look, I do think he offers some value to the team, but I don't think he's doing enough at the minute to what, you know, I don't think, as you say, he's doing enough. It's all good, well and good being in there and being busy and breaking things up. But he's not even doing that brilliantly. Like Coyle's doing that better, and then Coyle's distribution's been better, and Seymour's been very, very hit and miss. So
what would you see as a different option to Seymour from what's there and from what's fit?
Well, as I said there, when you were going to get your charger, I had a wee ramble to myself. But I was kind of saying that, you know, I was making comparisons to centre midfielders. Like your centre half, so like you were probably a different centre half to Packy Maley, and Tommy McGonigal was a different centre half to you. So like when I played with certain midfielders, there's always that kind of balance. And as I said, when I played with Wizzy, the balance was like, Wizzy, you're going to go and win the second balls, and you're going to break things up, and you're going to be harrying people, and then, you know, I would be the one maybe dropping off to get it off you, or get it off Kieran Call, or get it off Doc. So you had that balance, like. Whereas I think, as you've said, Seymour and Coyle are just too similar, and neither of them really want to go in and get it off the centre half. And it's not their game, and it's fine. They shouldn't do it either, because you need to know your limitations as a player. Like if you're not good at that, you're not going to do it. But I think, as you said, I would definitely would play Tony in there. I'd give him an opportunity in there. But if he's reluctant to play Tony, play Barry that day. I don't understand why you don't play Barry along with Coyle. Barry's good at winning the ball back as well. It's not like you're saying, he's not good enough out of possession to play him a little bit deeper. Play him a little bit deeper and then play O'Sullivan in front of him, or maybe Tony or whoever else. But I don't know who would you like to see in there? Obviously, you said Tony, so you'd like to see maybe Tony, Coyle, and then in front of them Barry, and then a front three of Timlin, O'Sullivan, and Foley. That's probably the sort of section you're looking at.
You're never going to see that, are you? Like,
no. They're not. They're definitely not. No chance. You're not going to have Barry and Tony in a midfield three. It's not going to happen, unfortunately.
No. I just think all he has is, you know, and well, or Higgsy or whatever, whoever's picking the team, we don't know at times, but I think Ollie picks 5 and Higgsy picks the other 5, and then they can agree on a keeper. But I think that I think that's the way. I just think that, you know, that whole physical aspect of it, you know, and I'm just watching, you know, wee clips and stuff they're showing on here. Like, I thought Mark Coyle had a really good game tonight. I thought, you know, I think he does get about the park well, and that seemed to be his only attribute. But I thought times in the ball tonight, I think it was the lead up to the goal where he just played a first time pass inside, you know, to Mark Russell.
He's got quality, He's tiny, like.
Yeah, but then again, I have watched him in other games where I think it might have been the Drogheda game, and he's like there was 3 times in a row where he got the ball and consecutively he just kicked out of play or else gave it away. You know what I mean? So
I think when it's 100 mile an hour, Coyle's 100 mile an hour too, and then when I think when the game's a little bit calmer and like tonight, well, was 100 mile an hour at times, but there was times when it's maybe on to get it down and play, he'll go and play. But sometimes he kind of plays nearly the conditions and the style of the match. And I just think we lack that midfielder and that deeper role that's able to just take all the air and sting out of the game and just say, hold on, let's just give me food on it, roll a couple of wee square ones. Gary Funson said tonight was Seymour's best game. Don't disagree with what you're saying. Seen him for Sligo a few times. That's the type of midfielder he is. So I think everyone's sort of agreeing with our assessment of him. His best game tonight. Look, he's played 90 minutes and we've won 2-1 the Brandywell, and they have won the midfield battle. So it's probably a fair statement. Mark Anderson says congratulations, Big Cown, on the engagement.
Oh, good man, Mark. Thanks for that. Good man.
And Ian Slevin, what a ball by Barry. Just watching it again, and Foley celebrating. In fairness, now, right, Cown, we've nearly been on an hour. We've seen the first series of matches. Coyle, your stand outside of, would you say Foley and Mark Coyle, the 2 standout performers for you so far, or are you going to put your defenders hat on and start picking Webster and Siddiqui and all that? Because they've been brilliant as well. Like obviously they have. Like it's been a real team effort. But who's been the real standouts for you so far?
Well, I think just Edge. I think because Foley's got his goal tonight there, and he's got the winner and a massive goal that it is. You know, his goals have been, you know, they've been so important to the results that Harps have got. Like, you know, you see, I think he's been excellent. Like, you know, because you've seen guys being asked to do jobs at times, being stuck in different positions, and they just huff, and you know that's it. He's worked hard tonight. They made the changes, and he's been and he got his time through the middle, and he's just showing why he should be starting that role every week. Because he is dangerous. I said he's an intelligent footballer. He sees the runs. He knows where to be in the right areas, and he can finish. So for me,
it's a great finish tonight too, Karen, isn't it? Like you'd easily snatch at that. You could easily just put the head down, smash it, snatch it a couple of minutes to go. He's shown a real bit of quality as to bury that. That's class.
When he's got into those positions, he has taken his chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not too many. There's not too many chances where we could say that he's fluffed his lines over the last few weeks, or he's he's been put in great areas, but his finishing's let him down. No, that hasn't been the case at all.
No. That's finishing been superb.
Yeah, so I think Foley shades it for me, definitely. Like, I think he's a great find as such, to get him where he did. He seems to have bought into what the lads are trying to do. So for me, I think it's Foley. Would you agree with that, or would you like to?
I would agree again with everything you say there regarding Foley. He does have that bit of class. Like, even the goal against Dundalk, the second one.
Yeah.
Like, there's loads to do. Like, there's loads to do. Like, fair enough, some people say, sure, he's running in, it's a 1v1, but sometimes you have too much time. You're thinking to around him, take it early, take another touch. Sorry?
Those are almost the hardest ones at times.
Exactly. Sometimes when you don't have a chance, or, not that I was a striker. I know you were a great striker underage level, Chief. You're better placed than me, but the instinctive ones where you just hit it. When you don't have much time to think about it. He's having chances, like you said, and even tonight he's had enough time to think about that one, and just a great finish. I would have to say now again, I think Mark Coyle's been absolutely outstanding as well, really consistent as well, and he's he puts in serious shifts in there. But Foley's been the difference. Foley's been the difference in the for Harps, another winner tonight. Ronan Floyd's asked a good question here. He said, lads, with the first quarter done, where actually are we? Are we looking at mid-table? Are we top four? And are we still just getting the points early to stay clear of the playoff? So is it the case of just keep gathering these points now because we're going to hit a lull where we might go 6, 7, 8 games without a win? Do you think Harps are gone from those days? I know you've been in Harps teams where that's happened. You've gone 8, 9, 10 games without a win. Are this Harps squad capable of... Can you see them encountering a run like that? Or do you think it'll be a case of maybe a couple of defeats and a draw, but we'll not go that length of time? So difficult one to answer, but where do you think after the first 8 matches, where are we at?
I don't think that there would ever be that time where they would go again that gulf of games without picking up results.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons, the side that they have first and foremost, like the squad that's there. You see the injuries starting to creep in and stuff like that now as well, which is unfortunate. But I think, obviously lads will drop out throughout the season, but then other lads will come back. And again, the lads that have picked up niggles early on. I don't like when we see the likes of Dundalk, struggling. Is the league as strong as it used to be?
Good point. Yeah. Good point.
The dominancy of like Shamrock Rovers seems to be there and doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. We see Pats resurgent, Sligo resurgent. For me, they seem to be the top three. Obviously, since the start of the season, have done really well. Bows aren't the force that they used to be.
Derry aren't, obviously.
We look at Derry from tonight, aren't the Derry of old. So for me, I think there's just the league seems to have, it just seems to be a lot more even all the way down through. You know what I mean? And there just seems to be there's no one who will like. Would we have thought that if this had been this time last year, we have said that Dundalk or Longford would have done anything at Dundalk? Longford come up via a playoff. They got the hard way up, and then they're playing Dundalk that we see out there, and maybe lucky not to win the game as well, or unlucky not to win the game. So that's what I see in terms of Harps, where we see ourselves. I think fourth would be from, as we said, when you see it settle down. But then transfer windows then can meet, people can do good business then come summertime as well. I think you'll be looking at fourth or fifth. I think is a very achievable position. But we said that at the start of the season, from what this squad has offered. I think, yes, there has been that dip in form. You say a dip in form. Like they got beat against Pats, which is a great side. They got beat Rovers.
Rovers.
You know what I mean? Like I think the fact that we're going to be saying ourselves, "Oh, we should have got a point here, we should have got a point there." That's how far we've come.
Yeah,
that's it.
We've essentially lost, as you said. We've lost against the top three.
Yeah,
and
beating Sligo, we beat Sligo over the years. Sligo wouldn't say is an Achilles heel for us at all. We beat them over the years. So I think the Sligo, when you win some, you lose some. But then going to Derry and then winning that game tonight, that just shows you how far we have come.
Yeah, so, I'd agree with that there, because I think there's a combination of factors really. I think we talked about it at the very start. Harps squad, you're looking at it. We've had injuries. People have come in, fitted in seamlessly. There's still players in that squad desperate for opportunities, hungry to get a chance to shine, and they will over the course of the season because it's a long season. But as you say, Bows are not as strong as they are. We didn't know that before the start of the season. Dundalk aren't as strong as they are. You're looking at Longford, Waterford, who else? Drogheda. I think Harps are as good. I think Harps have a better squad than them. So I definitely think it's attainable. We're sitting in fourth at the minute. We're 4 points clear of fifth. So why not, lad? Why not? I definitely think we have. When we've shown in the first 8 games of the season, that last season, wasn't a flash in the pan. So
I don't think so.
No.
Let's have a look here. While has been a really game. Peter Brogan reckons that Barry was poor up to the assists with such calm when it came down to get the winner. Yeah, great point there. I think we talked about the quality of the pass that Barry had and the quality for the delivery as well.
Class.
Played major parts and the goal. I think we expect a lot of Barry as well. I think obviously he's had a great career and still continues to put in performances, but I think we just maybe expect. Well, look, you expect a footballer at that level to put in a couple of decent crosses as well. But I think just getting back to the point that he's made, the quality that he showed for the set piece and his ball for the goal is, it's that extra little bit. And I think
100%.
I think you don't need much more to add to that, Chief. If you had another player in there, another creative player, I think you would definitely obviously be creating more chances for sure. He has to try and find someone. Obviously, I said we spoke about Conley and Conley been in there, and probably.
I think Conley be a massive addition because Conley can play that role a little bit deeper, as you say, in front of the back four and get those where Barry's picking up the ball on the half turn, inside the opposition's half, whereas you want him to get it. But I think it's a good point from Dylan. We're having a bit of crack with Tony Senior there. Yeah. I was disappointed in Barry's set pieces because I know how good a player he is. I know how good a left foot he has, and he put in the ball that we expect from him in the second half that led to a goal, and then that bit of quality and that bit of class. That's why even if he's not having a good night at the office, I'm not saying he didn't, but he has that bit of class, doesn't he? Where he might be having the best night, but he'll have a pass in his locker like that, and it can get you out of trouble, and that's what it's about. Thought Russell, I agree with Brian Smith, Mark Russell. I thought he was excellent tonight. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. And I know you're a big fan of him, and he's been a great signing for Harps.
Yeah, and the fact that they've been able to keep him interested as well. For the last couple of seasons, because a lad come from Scotland, coming from good pedigree over there, and having played in the Premier League over there, and he would have been, I suppose, seeing Harps as a springboard to maybe something better, and maybe
100%
move over there. Obviously, being from Scotland, and maybe wanting to be at home, but for being able to get him in, for the last 3 seasons, and and to keep him here has been great, and for him to be picking out performances like that there, and just having played with him and trained against him, when he's on his game, he's a great player. He's great with the ball at his feet. He can,
I think he's got great feet.
Both ways. He's deceptively quick as well. With the ball. Sometimes you see players quick with the ball. He's actually probably quicker with the ball than he is without the ball.
Yeah. Can I put you on the spot, Chief?
Go ahead.
How does he compare to Kieran Cole?
Are
they different players?
Different players, totally different players.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair point.
I just think Cole was more an out-and-out defender.
You
know,
Call loved defending, didn't he? Kieran Call loves defending.
Yeah, and I think that was the frustrating thing about Call at the time, because you had this, he was a great athlete and he could run all day, and when we did our pre-seasons, we got there miles ahead of everyone. You used to see him and Mickey Funston take off, and you're just like, oh lads, settle down. But I just think that Call maybe had, maybe didn't work on his game as much as he could have, and I thought it was frustrating at times because you just saw it seemed loads of potential and loads of.
Because I used to think I used to look at Call same as you, and I'd be like, Call, you're the fittest player in this team, man. You should be doing about 25 overlaps. Yeah. But Call was sort of happy enough just to, as you say, defend. And I used to be like, Call, even if he had the energy to do 20, 25 overlaps in the game and get back, no problem. And even if 20 of the crosses were poor, all he needed was one or two, would have caused a goal. Would have been a serious outlet for us. But in his defence, I don't ever remember him getting roasted off anyone.
No.
When I was there, I know obviously maybe in the Premier Division it was different. I never seen anyone get the better of him. He was just a brilliant defender. But for me, I felt like you said, I think if he worked a wee bit more on his game, and again, this is not a criticism, top player, has had a great career. He could have probably played. He probably could have went to England. You look at boys like Daniel Lafferty and stuff that went from Derry, went across the water and stuff. Yeah. Call was, Call had all the athleticism and attributes of those lads. Good defensively. Maybe if he just added a wee bit more going forward, he could have definitely went. But sure, look, could have, would have, should have.
Yeah, that's it. 11 corners in the game. That is saying something. Bosch making a good point there. Obviously, we were up in we were putting Derry under serious pressure at times.
Yeah.
And, the fact that we're getting those corners and getting those opportunities. Hopefully we could take a few more than I've seen. Webster scored against Derry in the pre-season. So a few more goals from the lads at the back will be, I suppose, appreciated as well. Take a bit of pressure off. Foley. Gary Funston reckons won't be in the top or bottom three. Won't be more than 6-8 points between the rest. So small details and results like tonight make a massive difference between 4th and 7th.
Yeah, that's fair point.
Very good point.
Any relation to Mickey? Is he?
Hey, I think so.
Is he?
That's his brother.
Is it?
Aye, I think it's Gary.
Is it? All right.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Was Gary as much of a shithouse as Mickey when he played?
I was a different type of player.
Different type of player, was he?
Ooze class.
Good stuff.
Never stressed himself, but played a few 5-a-sides with him, and he just knew just loads of quality, but never stressing.
Right, brilliant. Hey. And 9 corners in the first 50 minutes. Paul Clark says disappointing to concede when we were on top. It just shows Harps are in great shape this season. The determination and fight is commendable.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's good to have 100%. That. Obviously, we're tight.
That is.
We didn't see too many leaving in the summer, or sorry, in the winter or whatever. At the end of the season, so most of those lads did stay. So obviously they're going to be well used to each other at this stage, and I'm sure that they do seem to be a tight enough group. And to different story maybe, if you go to Derry and you go 1-0 down and it's a full packed stadium, how do you react after that?
True.
I think that's one. Again, not taking nothing away, just trying to be objective here and just trying to give a couple of different scenarios.
100%.
The crowd do get on top of you in there. They do make it uncomfortable. And obviously that would have played a part tonight. But as we said kind of at the beginning of this year, how great it would have been to have a lot of those Harps fans that have went to Brandywell over the years, and maybe not got the results, and maybe left 30.
It's never imagine the history of the club. They've never won a league match at the Brandywell like that, isn't it? When you think about it, and take a step back, that is an astounding statistic. That is. It's terrible in many ways, obviously, for a derby between two teams, for one team to have had the upper hand for so long. Yeah. But again, it's just another bow and or feather, in Ollie's cap in terms of some of the unbelievable results that he's achieved over the years, and that's another one tonight, which is brilliant. Has a sitting forward count. Bows now at the weekend. Hey, we'll wrap it up now in the next couple of minutes, but. Down to Daily Mount at the weekend, the lads will be bouncing. As you already touched on, Bows not going particularly well. Another winnable game, lad.
Yeah, well, definitely, and that's it. We'll take huge confidence from being down there at the end of last season and beating them relatively easy. Again, I'm sure they won't take them lightly, or they won't let them. There'll be nobody smelling themselves in the changing room tonight. Is
No.
usually the shout. So
We should have been beat, lads. They hit the post twice. We should have been beat.
if those go in, we're talking a totally different story here. But I just think, I think it's a good opportunity. Those not going well. Again, they won't take them lightly. But you would think that Harps have enough there. Look, we'll see how, once they, check in on Wednesday or whatever it is for training, there'll be a couple of knocks again, another. You'll be talking 3 games in a week for a couple of these lads. So
it's tough.
See what they have available and see who's able to show up on Saturday. But I think it's definitely a winnable game. It's
100%
confidence. This even, it's funny if they concede later on tonight and it's a draw, or if they get beat or whatever the case may be. Those wee bumps and bruises become a lot sorer.
Yeah.
From whatever a couple of days might check them off. It might be a week or 2 weeks, but lads,
you're picking yourself up, like you're having to pick yourself up again. It's never easy, like,
because they have a couple of Dublin lads there now as well. Who want to be down in Dublin. They'll want to be showing. They'll want to be putting on a performance down there in front of not say their home support, because I'm sure there won't be too many there. But we were, of course, critical at times about maybe Ollie bringing in lads maybe that weren't from here. You have the option to play lads from round and about, but they're going down the country for these lads. But there might be some sort of reason that there's a couple of lads from down the country. So when they go to places like Bows or like Shamrock Rovers, that means a bit more to them down there. You know what I'm saying? Where they want to show, well, maybe I should have been playing, picked for a Bohemians or a Shamrock Rovers or a Pat, or whatever the case may be. So there might be something behind that as well. But then again,
no, I would say you probably, there's probably some substance in what you're saying there. I definitely think that would be a motivation for a lot of players, like, that probably are saying, right, I could be good enough to play for one of the big 2 in Dublin or whatever. So I definitely think there's substance in what you're saying there. Kieran McGrath, hope to get to the summer break in good shape and strengthen again in the summer with another top striker. Rory Keaton, former Harps striker, is going well at Galway. Be a nice man to get in. Him and Foley be a great partnership, Chief.
Yeah, I see he had a brace there at the weekend. I think he had a couple of penalties against Cove, away to Cove. I think Cove got a man sent off, and then the whole thing just went to pot. But a good one for Galway. Surprised at him coming back. I think he was a Turkey, was he?
Yeah, for a few years, yeah.
What the reason he come back? I think obviously Caulfield was putting together a serious side in Galway. So he was maybe looking to move home or whatever the case may be.
Few pound floating about Galway too, I'd say. Took him home.
Yeah, they're not setting that. Well, nobody seems to really run away with that. I think Athlone seemed to be top of the pile down there, and maybe a bit of a.
Didn't see that coming.
Got a few comments here. Paul Clark, is the tide turning, do you think, or just a blip for Derry? What do you think on that one? See if I'm going to throw that one at you.
The tide turning for Derry. No, as I said, I still have serious reservations over the Derry team. I said it before the match tonight, even though I kind of was thinking there's going to be that Higgins factor. The players were at a very low ebb. They hadn't won a match in the first 6 games of the season. They come in, they get a great result against Sligo. Yeah. They followed up with a great one against Bows. They're buzzing, but I still felt that the problems that were there when Decky Devine was there aren't just going to disappear overnight. And I feel that it's very much a transitional period for Derry. I think they've got a lot of quality players and a lot of good young quality players, but you know yourself, Cowan. You need experience. You need senior players running your dressing room, because there is going to be bad days ahead for Derry. And when you're having bad days or you're not playing well, you have your senior players around you to maybe get you through the game, maybe get you, maybe if being playing the devil's advocate here, maybe if there was more senior experienced players there, the very least Derry draw that game tonight. The very least that they get is, right, well, you know what, we'll not lose the game. I know we've conceded now, but we'll not lose the game. They end up losing the game. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a draw, they'll be disappointed possibly, but
and those key areas as well. You know what? Like you look in the middle of the field, you look at your goalkeeper. You look along the back floor. You have Lafferty and Cole's played a lot of football now, but he's still only 21, 22.
Exactly.
Very young. You need, and there it's kind of been thrust upon them to become senior players almost over the case of you look at Harkin in the middle of the park. He's a senior player and that side. So
Kieran Harkin.
I just think that they are light in that area. I think that'll be something that they will look to remedy come at the first opportunity. So that'll help those young lads as well. That'll give them massive confidence. So
awesome.
I just think that the sooner the transfer window comes for them, the better. To get some lads in.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, like as I say, those lads like Cole, 21, 22, when they're 25 and 26, and Harkin and that, all of a sudden Derry have proper senior. There's proper senior experienced players there. So probably long term, what Derry are doing now is going to probably pay dividends for them in 3 or 4 years, because those lads are top players. They can hold their own in the league, but they definitely do miss that. Those 3 or 4 players that you've talked about, just to give them that little bit of leadership and guidance and the dressing room and dealing with stuff as well. They're young lads dealing with criticism and all that sort of stuff. So that would be my. So in the answer, the roundabout answer to Paul Clark is I do think Derry will be okay. I don't think they're going to get relegated or anything like that, but I don't think they're going to be resurgent and like finishing the top 4 or anything like that. I think they'll be down. I think they'll be very, as I say, I think they're going through a transitional period, so it'll be very hit and miss.
Yeah, Joe McNulty there makes a good point. Speaking of fitness, the fitness levels of this Harps team is through the roof this season. The only good thing about the pubs being closed.
Good man, Joe.
Good man, Joe. Yeah, I think. I think it's hard to legislate for knocks and things like that. There, when you lost young Barry and Conley the first game of the season, so. They should almost be on the way back. No, I think they were told that might have been 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks. That's going to be some boost to have those 2 boys back as well. Especially Conley.
I think the sooner you get them, but then you see like the when you look through the team, physically they look strong. You look at the lad that we keep talking about come back and that man, Foley again. He's lean, he's strong. He's it seems like a great as I say, a great find. And that's infectious too. Throughout the team, when they see somebody maybe have of his age as well, and the way that he looks after himself, and they're thinking, well, you know what? If that's what I need to do, I need to be looking. I need to ask, well, what's he eating? How's he working out? What fitness plan is he on? So that'll fan out to the young boys as well. And I just think I think we keep talking about what a great find he is, and. He definitely seems to be, he definitely seems to be taking his opportunity at Harps,
100%
from where he has come from.
Yeah, I know. I think again, Chief. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Again, as I've said before in the past, I'd be worried about losing him, because, as you say, you've talked about him taking his opportunity at Harps, and he certainly has. But obviously, that could be a problem for Harps, because let's be realistic. Like, as we're talking about his finishing, his quality, and his, all that sort of stuff. It is. There's definitely going to be. Let's not be naive about it. There's definitely going to be people in the league, some teams that are struggling, looking at him, aren't they? Let's be.
Oh yeah.
And even across in the league you're in it, that's where he came from. Yeah. There's probably plenty in there looking at him as well.
Oh, definitely. Because I think he would have seemed to be that he was scoring goals in the League of Ireland. No disrespect to the Irish League, but it seems that always kind of go that way, where it kind of goes from you go from the League of Ireland to the Irish League for whatever reason. Make of that what you want, but this way, if there's teams there and they have, not sure, I'm sure they'll be working out budgets and stuff like this now for next year, but they'll definitely be seeing a man who's has experience in the Irish League as well, has gone into Ireland, and has seemed to be doing quite well. So they'll be looking to say, why don't you take a run back up to us here? We were great the first time you were with us. So
yeah,
and I
don't want to get you in trouble here at Glentoran, Cowan, but just as a general point, how did you find the quality of strikers in the Irish League compared to the League of Ireland? Is it quicker pace? Like I only obviously I played in the Irish League with Stewart, but I'd only ever played in the League of Ireland First Division, so I'd never played for Harps in the Premier Division. So
I haven't been playing against many of them recently. So
I know you haven't. I know you haven't played in them late, but you played plenty last season when you helped them lift the Irish Cup, and you played in Europe as well. But how do you find it? Is it I found that in the Irish League it was definitely a lot 100-mile-an-hour stuff, a lot more physical. I found in the League of Ireland First Division. There was a lot more football played in the League of Ireland First Division than the Irish League. But I don't know how. As I say, I'd never played in the Premier Division of the League of Ireland. So how does it compare to the top flight in Northern Ireland, do you think?
I always just found that, well, it seemed that like Joe made a good pair about the fitness levels. The fitness levels in the Premier League of the League of Ireland just seem to be when you look at the condition of a lot of the players and stuff, you rarely see a man who you would say is carrying a bit of weight, or you just look.
And there's nothing wrong with a man carrying a bit of weight, is there?
That's why you never played in the Premier League.
I played in the Premier League in the North, though. They love me in there.
That's my point. You fit it in well.
Right, fuck this. I'm ending this call. It's fucking 1:30 in the morning.
You asked the question.
I know, but I presented in a way thinking you were going to like massage my ego for once, but no, straight in, carried over the top of the ball again. Hey, jeez, I can't.
You keep tearing me up. What do you want from me? Do we lie to you? Do we tell you?
No, I agree with you, Con. I was appalled at some of the conditioning of the players in the Irish League. It was terrible.
No, I think it's well improved, and obviously I'm at the other end of my career. Where I can, you're looking at a lot of these younger lads that are playing, and a lot of them are in good, and that's just goes down to the full time aspect as well. See,
a lot of them have gone full time,
and it's just with all the body fats, and if you're over, there's fines being dished out, and no better way to hit a man in his pocket about being overweight or carrying a bit extra. Like, so, like I think the way that they are trying to cut that out across the board. But if you're not that way inclined, if you're not that way about really into your fitness as a personal thing, if you're only training 2 nights a week and you can get away with it, you're not going to.
You won't get away with it. You won't get away with it. Like,
no, well, that's
it'll catch up with you. Like, it definitely will catch up with you. Like,
I think they seem to be taking a lot of tips from the League of Ireland, and they're looking even now to move to summer football as well, which is
really is that
they're making a big push for that there. Well, see, I'm not sure. I think it's some of the clubs just seem to want it.
Right.
I see Glentoran are pushing for it.
I wouldn't be a fan of that at all.
Well, see, I think it just seems to be a lot more traditional for them. Like when you think of the the Boxing
Christmas fixtures, yeah,
seem to be massive around there, and New Year's Day and things like that are just they're huge occasions. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. I prefer, and I think we've spoken about this before. I think the League of Ireland should go back to the same calendar as the rest. August to me. I know the arguments made summer football better pitches now, but I think it's hard to compete with the GAA, unfortunately, in terms of crowds and getting people in. And just, if it's a nice day and a Friday, you're going to be probably heading to the beach and you're going to be going for a few beers and stuff. I think when you're... Sorry?
What I hear as well, a lot of the clubs are going synthetic pitch up in the Irish League as well from next season. Like I think Korea might be getting an Astro. I think there's 2 others. I think I know Cliftonville have one, obviously, which is a bit of a shocker. Like it's a bit of a car park, but I think they're getting a new one in. And I think
not a fan of synthetic pitches at all. It's funny you brought it up, Chief, because Paul Liang was messaging me there. He was watching the Harps Derry game, and he was just like, AstroTurf pitches should be banned. There's just something not right about them, because he was on about the way the ball's bouncing the surface of the Brandywell. Like I don't like them at all. I think they're fine for training, but I hate to see that where it's more the norm now, where every pitch is artificial. What's your opinion? And I know you don't have great knees, so you're probably not a fan of it.
It's definitely a different game. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Like, the ball bounces differently. Like it's
and I just remember when you were this is obviously a lot to do with the players that they have as well. But look, the state of pitches, the way they are sometimes in the league, I think, it should be one or the other for me. It should be all Astros, or else it should be all
All
grass.
grass. And it should be all grass. For fuck's
The
sake.
pace of the game, if you're used to training on an Astro, and the pace of the game, the way you pass the ball, like you don't even have to. You don't even have to have your head down at all. You know where the ball's going to be. You know what's not going to bounce over your foot. You can play passes first time. It's a lot easier. So you're going to be playing a quicker brand of football if that's the way that you're going to play. So I just think it's a bit unfair. I just think it's.
I agree with you 100%. I just don't like them. I don't like them at all. I just never. Again, as I say, I don't mind playing it or training on it and stuff like that. But like top level games in the League of Ireland, like there tonight on an AstroTurf pitch, and as you say in the north, there's Cliftonville and Crusaders, and I think Doularn have a synthetic pitch as well. I know there's just a lot of teams up there as well. So it's not a good one. It's not a good one. Brian Smith, Forker getting abuse is a great way to end tonight. What did I do in you, Brian?
I can't disagree with him. Let's Kieran Cannon's gone.
You're definitely the favourite, Cowan. I think you're definitely the favourite, because I think they all thought Cowan was actually a good player for Harps. Forker's a fucking fraud.
Huh?
I think they're all thinking Cowan was actually a good player for Harps. Forker's an absolute fraud.
I think it's just you've gone after these lads over the years, Chief, for different reasons. They've been new to me.
My past on Donegal Daily isn't well received, but
hasn't done you any favours.
No, hasn't done me any favours, lad. Kieran Cannon, are the Mockers the only club who don't comment on social media when their team don't win? Tight supporters. Good man, Kieran. Hey, he's got his own podcast as well, Kieran's Cast. He's been interviewing a lot of top GA players and different people, so fair play to you, Kieran. Big Harps man as well, and he's been a big fan of Allergic to Silverware, so it's good to see him doing his own thing. Hey, so fair play to you, Kieran. Keep her up, lad.
Well.
Yeah,
I think just to answer that question truthfully, I didn't see too much Harp stuff over the last couple of weeks either, so I don't think I should be Derry.
We went AWOL, lad. We haven't been about for a month.
Nothing to talk about. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to listen when you're getting beat. It's hard to make up stuff to talk about. And
with the Harps equalising, we're jumping on live for the last half hour. Come on, we'll jump on. There he's on the ropes. It's
time to go on.
Brilliant. Hey, sure. Look, Chief, what's the story for Wednesday night? Will we go live Wednesday, or what's the story? We'll touch. We'll see what the crack is, guys. We might go live, and we've covered a lot tonight, so maybe we might leave it. But I know we're talking about potentially maybe getting Anthony Gorman on. Gorman's just been appointed the assistant manager at Dungannon Swift, so congratulations, Anthony. Obviously, somebody who would have seen our interview with him earlier in the season, absolute top man. So it'd be good to get him on and get chat to him about his new move.
This is probably the first that anybody's actually heard about this, because I haven't texted him, Chief, so I must get on.
I know why. You have to, but you were throwing it out here now. Put a bit of pressure on him. They'll be telling him, "Hey, Gorman, you on Wednesday night? The boys have you on."
Great way to do it.
Look. But we don't even know if we'll go live now, because we've been chatting shit for an hour and a half. So everyone's like, these two lads. No, but we'll see what the crack is, lad, and we'll try and get another watch along soon. I know maybe I don't know what the story is on Saturday. But we'll get something sorted. But Cowan, appreciate you coming on. I know, lad, to be fair, because I know you were training tonight and
good to be back.
Good to be back, and it's great to have a win as well.
Have lads on here that know what they're talking about, that have played a bit of football, and can definitely speak from experience. But just to go on, the 6 o'clock skill is who's listening, who's watching a match at 6 o'clock on a Saturday? You know what I mean? It's
nightmare. I'll tell you, the only person who watches Adrian Ferry.
Right,
that's all he does. Order jerseys and watch obscure football matches from around the world. I had to get a dig in. I've been on for an hour and 28 minutes, and I haven't given Adrian Fez a touch, so I had to get in there.
It's just not a show when actually give Fez a touch.
No, but I agree with you. The 6 o'clock kickoffs haven't been ideal. Like, people are doing their own thing and that, so the quarter day kickoffs are definitely better. But obviously, like with Glentoran and stuff, lad, use are flat out in different times, so it's just hard to get the balance in that.
No matter what.
Hey, look, you're a top pro, Chief. You're a top pro. So, look, you have to. There's plenty of boys in that boat at Harps at the minute. The likes of the Rainies and that, they just have to bide your time. So, look, at least you went up there and got a nice trophy there, lad, and played in Europe. So, you'll be all right. All right. This is turning into a counselling session now. You'll be all right, Cowan. You're all right, Cowan. You're all right.
Right.
Stay in there.
We'll
Like.
leave it at that. Let's go.
Aye, we'll wrap her up. Aye. All right, cheers. Thanks, guys, for listening. There's probably about 7 left. Good luck.
Good luck.
Cheers.